Okay, chicos, I'm back here. Hopefully, this will be one of the quicker ones talking about the uses of the subjunctive. Now, what I want to talk about is about the impersonal expressions. Now, impersonal expressions just don't have a typical subject. If you can see on the screen right now, these are actually from you have a list from this chapter too with some vocab that's good, and some of it's similar to this, maybe even some identical to some of the words you see right now. But on the other list is a little bit smaller. I just kind of want to show you because this is still applicable right now, even though this isn't until a vocab for next chapter. You probably know a bunch of this anyway. But these are all examples of impersonal expressions, and these are words that are going to be subjunctive triggers. You see, es bueno que, es importante que, es necesario que. I think we've mentioned all those already in the previous 3 videos at some point or another. Now, the thing is, I throw this as a kind of a separate category as when you use the subjunctive is because you almost always do use the subjunctive when you have an impersonal expression. Now, so when you see any of these on the screen right now, every single one of these is a subjunctive trigger, every one of them. So it's really easy. Most of them are going to be like that. I'm going to show you a few more. And again, we're still on that where they're all subjunctive triggers. So again, impersonal expressions are subjunctive triggers almost always, but we pretty much can take any one of these, like es bueno que, we can throw that in. We already saw that one was in the emotions uses. Es importante que, that was with the influence, the will or influence section. And necesario que, that was as well. Or más vale que goes along with the emotion. So we've seen every one of these, or again, at least the idea of each of these in a certain category. So es dudoso que, right here. Es dudoso que, it's doubtful. That one with our doubt video. They're all used. We can take all of these. It's advisable. There's influence. We can take them and we can put them in any one of those previous 3 categories. So we don't need to make a 4th category. So when I say, when do you use the subjunctive? We use it with will or influence. We use it with emotion. We use it with doubt. Those are just a few easy words to say. We can kind of group all of them in there. But I do think it kind of helps if you think about it, even as impersonal expressions are usually subjunctive triggers, as all these are examples of that. Usually it's some sort of, es and an adjective and then que. So again, I like to think of it as a kind of a 4th group of when you use the subjunctive. And that might be helpful to recognizing when you want to use it, whether you're writing or speaking, or doing a grammar exercise, you would know to use a subjunctive with that. Now, I said almost always. Exceptions to that would be stuff like es dudoso que. With that es dudoso que expression, we talked about this in our last video. If you put no in front of that, you have now negated the doubt, and therefore you will have an expression of grammatical certainty, which is going to be with the indicative. So again, it's not an absolute. You're not always going to do it, but most of the time you are. If you see this, if you're ever in doubt, do I use subjunctive with it? Yes, you do. Exceptions to it would be if you have an impersonal expression of doubt and you put no in front of it, you will have the indicative instead. If you have the other way around, you have an impersonal expression of certainty, you use the indicative, put no in front of that, and you'll have subjunctive. So I don't have any examples of those on this list, but es verdad que, it's true that, es verdad que, or es cierto que, it's certain that, those would be with the indicative. But if I put no in front of each of those, so let me write those out for you. Put at least one of them. Es verdad. Okay. That right there is going to be an indicative trigger. Es verdad que tengo 50 años. Okay. Now, I put no in front of this one right here. No es verdad now that is a subjunctive trigger because I got rid of that certainty, and we would use the subjunctive. So we went over that last time with the doubt. If you need a little bit more with that, go back to the last video on doubt. Towards the end, I go into this whole little no plus certainty and no plus doubt and all that stuff.